Day 28. The Queen of Heaven in the Kingdom of the Divine Will. Limbo. The expectation. Victory over death. The resurrection. The soul to its mother queen. Transfixed mother, your little child, knowing that you are alone without your beloved good Jesus, wants to squeeze herself to you to keep you company in your most bitter desolation. Without Jesus, all things are changed into sorrow for you. The memory of his agonizing pains, the sweet sound of his voice, which still resounds in your hearing, the charming gaze of your dear Jesus, now sweet, now sad, again swollen with tears, but always enrapturing your maternal heart. To no longer have them with you are cutting swords which pass through and through your transfixed heart. Desolate mother, your dear child wants to give you comfort, sympathy for each pain. Indeed, I would want to be Jesus to be able to give you all of the love, all the comfort, the relief, and the sympathy that Jesus himself would have given you in this, your state of bitter desolation. The sweet Jesus has given me to you as a child. Therefore, put me in his place, in your maternal heart, and I will be all for my mother. I will dry your tears, and I will always keep you company. Lesson of the Desolate Mother and Queen. Dearest child, thank you for your company, but if you want your company to be sweet and dear to me, and carrier of comfort to my transfixed heart, I want to find in you the divine will operating, dominating, and that you not cede to your will even one breath of life. Then yes, I will exchange you with my son Jesus, because his will being in you, in it I will hear Jesus in your heart. And oh, how happy I will be to find in you the first fruit of his pains and his death. And finding my beloved Jesus in my child, my pains will change into joys and my sorrows into conquests. Now listen to me, child of my sorrows. Scarcely did my son give up his last breath, then he descended into limbo as triumpher and bearer of glory and happiness, into that prison where there was found all the patriarchs and prophets, the first father Adam, the dear Saint Joseph, and my holy parents, and all those who in virtue of the foreseen merits of the future Redeemer had been saved. I was inseparable from my son, and not even death could take him away from me. Therefore, in the ardor of my sorrows, I followed him into limbo and was spectator of the feast of the gratitude that all this great multitude of people gave to my son, who had suffered so much and whose first step had been toward them, to beatify them and bring them with him into celestial glory. So as he died, so also began the conquests, the glory for Jesus and all those who loved him. This, dear child, is symbol of how, when the creature makes its will die by union with the divine will, conquests begin in the divine order, glory and joy, even in the midst of the greatest sorrows. And so, notwithstanding that the eyes of my soul followed my son, and I never lost sight of him in those 3 days that he was buried, I felt such anxiety to see him risen, that I went about repeating in my ardor of love, "Rise, my glory, rise, my life." My desires were ardent, my longings of fire, even to feeling myself consumed. Now in these anxieties I saw that my dear son, accompanied by the great multitude of people, went out from limbo in act of triumph and were brought to the sepulchre. It was dawn of the 3rd day, and as all nature had cried for him, so now they were joyful, so much so that the sun anticipated its course to be present in the act in which my son arose from the dead. But oh marvel, before he arose he made that multitude of people see his most holy humanity bleeding, wounded, disfigured, as it had been reduced for love of them and everyone. All were moved and admired the excesses of love and the great portent of the redemption. Now, my child, oh, how I wanted you present in the act in which my son rose from the dead. He was all majestic. His divinity united to his soul sprang forth seas of light and enchanting beauty as to fill heaven and earth. And as triumpher, making use of his power, he commanded his dead humanity to receive again his soul and arise triumphant and glorious to immortal life. What a solemn act! My dear Jesus triumphed over death, saying, "Death, you will no longer be death, but life." With this triumphant act, he He placed the seal that he was man and God, and with his resurrection, he confirmed his doctrine, his miracles, the life of the sacraments, and the entire life of the church. Not only that, but he triumphed over the human wills, weakened and almost extinguished in true good, in order to make the life of the divine volition triumph over them, which would bring to creatures the fullness of the sanctity of all goods, and at that same time cast into bodies, in virtue of the resurrection, the seed of rising to imperishable glory. My child, the resurrection of my Son enclosed all and is the most solemn act that he did for love of creatures. Now listen to me, my child. I want to speak to you as a mother who loves her child very much. I want to tell you what it means to do the will of God and to live in it, and the example my son and I gave of it to you. Our life was strewn in pains, poverty, humiliations, even to seeing my beloved son die with pains. But in all this flowed the divine will, in which the life of our pains, and we felt ourselves triumphant and conquerors by changing death itself into life. So much so that in seeing the great good, we voluntarily offered ourselves to suffer, because the divine will being in us, no one could assert himself over it or us. Suffering was in our power, and we called for it as food and triumph of the redemption, to be able to bring all good to the entire world. Now, dear child, if your life and your sufferings will have for center of life the divine will, be certain that the sweet Jesus will make use of you and your sufferings to give help, light, and grace to all the universe. Therefore, take courage. The divine will knows how to do great things where it reigns, and in all circumstances mirror yourself in me and in your sweet Jesus and walk forward. The soul to its Holy Mother. Holy Mother, if you help me and will keep me defended under your mantle, being my celestial sentinel, I am certain that all my pains will be converted into will of God, and I will follow you step by step in the interminable ways of the supreme fiat. I know that your charming love of Mother and your power will vanquish my will, and you will keep it within your power and will exchange it for me with the divine will. Therefore, my Mother, I confide myself to you and abandon myself into your arms. Little flower of the day. Today, to honor me, you will say 7 times, "Not my will, but yours be done," offering me my sorrows to ask of me the grace to always do the divine will. Exclamation. My Mother, by the resurrection of your Son, make me rise into the will of God.